So there's lots of wavelengths of light, right? And tell us about blue light. We're exposed to a lot of blue light in the modern world.
That's right.
Coming from screens, et cetera. Tell us about how blue light affects us.
So there's benefit to blue light, just like there's benefit to sunlight when it helps with the circadian rhythms. It helps with alertness. It gets us up and ready for the day. But too much of a good thing, right? Can be a bad thing. So everything in moderation. Well, we're finding blue light is also the highest energy visible light, and it's the closest on the electromagnetic spectrum to UVA type 2. And the significance of that is that high energy wavelength penetrates deeper than UVB. UVC is blocked by the ozone. UVB is a little bit shorter of a wavelength. It doesn't get quite as deep. It is known as our burn ray, UVB burn. UVA is our aging ray. So I tell people, if you're not motivated by the burn, a lot of my patients will be motivated by the anti-aging. But blue light, over time, they're now seeing that there's oxidative stress and actually free radical damage and connective tissue damage to extended periods of time and cumulative blue light exposure, which is everywhere. Devices, even TVs, all of those that you don't even think about that we're exposed to nowadays more than ever. Something that we are now looking into is how do we protect ourselves from that? Not just our eyes. Everyone has seen and heard about blue light screen filters and blue light protection in glasses, but there is also an effect on the skin.
Yeah. It affects us over time. And to your point, blue light, there's nothing wrong with it. I mean, as you mentioned, blue light in the morning is great to help us with supporting a good mood throughout the day. It helps us if we get blue light in the morning to help us sleep at night if we're getting that in the morning and not in the evening. But it's this constant exposure throughout the day that really causes the damage to our skin, right? Causes the issues to us.
Right. And so I've got patients who will tell me, hey, I don't go in the sun. I don't need sunscreen. I'm not sitting out there. I'm not going to the beach. And I have to tell them, well, that's a complicated statement, because even when we're sitting next to something that has reflective properties, if we're driving in the car, if we're in front of a device, you're being exposed to light wavelengths that can have cumulative damage. Even if it's not UVB burn, you can still be having damaging effects of that. And so one thing that I do encourage is, even if you're not going to be in the sun and you don't feel like you're outside much, or if you've got darker skin and you don't feel like, well, I don't get burned and the sun doesn't affect me, that you're using a mineral sunscreen, and more importantly, a non-nano zinc oxide mineral sunscreen, because the non-nano zinc oxide actually does block blue light, where the micronized does not. And so now you're going to get a full broad spectrum effect.
Interesting.
And if it's in your daily routine, regardless of where you're at and what you're doing, you're getting that protection, and that includes being in your home on your computer or your device.
Yeah. That's beautiful. So the doTERRA Sun Face Moisturizer as a daily application, rather than an occasional application where, I'm going to the beach or I'm going to the mountains, whatever. If you use that every single day, you're protecting your body.
You are protecting your skin. That's absolutely right.
That's great.
And so, I tell people, if you do that, you're going to look better than your friends. And so, they'll ask what you're doing, but it's something that you're not going to see right away, and you're not going to get that pink. You're not going to get that burn, but you're actually doing a lot of benefit to your skin. Over time, that cumulative damage is not able to happen as much. You're still going to get some that penetrates through, and that's also why using sunscreens, you can still get your vitamin D in the sun while you're protecting.
It's a great point.
So don't feel like you can't apply your sunscreen in the morning as part of just your normal routine. It should be just like brushing your teeth. And go out there. You're going to, unless you did it completely perfectly with no little pinholes, you're going to get your vitamin D from the sun, but you're going to be protecting yourself from a lot of that additional UV damage that we're going to be exposed to every day just doing normal activities.